Hey guys and girls out there in quarantine land. The challenge I have for you this week is I want you guys to try to do some food photography. If you guys have been on Instagram and you've seen those people that post the pictures of just the amazing looking meals, there are tips and tricks to how to do that. A lot of those pictures you see are taken with just an iPhone or a Samsung. They're not taken with super high-end cameras. So what I want you to get from this lesson is I want you to learn some tips and tricks to get better close-up photography. In this case, we're using food as our subject. And I also want you guys to learn a little bit about an app for your phone, the Lightroom app. If you don't have it downloaded, go download it. It's on Samsung, it's on iPhone. It's called Lightroom. It's by Adobe, the same people that make our Photoshop app. Super powerful. I want you to learn how to kind of adjust some pictures using that app. I also want you to see about using the camera functionality inside of the Lightroom app. There's a built-in camera that's got far more controls than your built-in or standard camera on your phone. So I'm going to show you how I took my pictures here. What you're going to need, some various backdrops, some various surfaces to put it on, and you're going to need a window that's got some light coming in because we're going to use the sun as our light source. All right, so take the best picture you come up with after you take it and adjust it in Lightroom, post that to the Google Drive. That's where I'm going to be looking at these and grading them. If you don't remember how to do that, that's how we used to submit them in class, guys. Remember? Back when we used to go to school. But if you don't remember how to do that, you can submit it through the Google Classroom as well. Enjoy the video. So to start here, what we're going to be doing is photographing, the cookies on this cutting board. The problem with that is the cutting board's kind of a tan brown color. The cookies are kind of a tan brown color. And tan on tan is not a great look. You can see I've got that cookie sheet back there as my black backdrop. I'm going to try to angle it so that I don't really see any edges of it. And you can take the picture and it doesn't look too bad. But again, the tan on tan is not the greatest look. Got some good detail. If I zoom in, you can see, not too bad. But I'm not a fan of the tan on tan look really at all. So let's go back to the camera here. What I have to put in there is this nice turquoise plate. So I'm going to rearrange my cookies on there, get them kind of set up the way I want them to look. Okay, and the cool thing about this plate, adds a splash of color. Also gives a little bit of a reflection. You can see the reflection of the cookies there. So now it's really not just tan on brown. It's, got that cool little reflection. It's got that nice look on there. Another issue you might run into is if the light is coming into your window really, really strong, you might be casting a bunch of shadows on the back side of your cookies. That's where something as simple as like a white sheet of paper comes in handy. Because if you look, get this set up right here. If I hold it like that, I've got some shadows on there, but if I use this white paper, I don't really want it to be in the plate there. But you can see I can get it to bounce in some extra light onto those shadows there. And if I take it away, you can see again, see how it gets dark, gets light. You can use something like a piece of tin foil, any sort of just white reflective or light colored reflective surface that you have will bring in some extra light and it'll make it, balanced out a little bit more than it was before. So that's basically taking the photos with just using the onboard camera app. And you can get some pretty good results. Not too bad. I got a little crumb there that I want to get rid of, but not too bad. But if you have not downloaded the Lightroom app yet, download it. It's free. You can get it for Android or iPhone, I believe. And the great thing about the Lightroom app is when you log into it, it shows you like all the pictures you've taken using Lightroom or have adjusted using Lightroom. But there's also a button, if you go back here, to use a camera, okay? And on this camera app, you can take just standard pictures. It looks pretty normal when you look at it. But down here by the shutter button, there's a button that says auto, okay? Press that and change to professional mode. Now, this is where you start getting some really cool controls on your iPhone. If you look down the right-hand side here, you got things like white balance. I can set it to sunshine. I can set it to maybe like an overcast day. I can set it to fluorescent light bulbs. I can set it to all sorts of different things. And you can see how the warmth of the picture is changing based on what I click on. Since I'm using the sun, I'm going to set this one to sun by default. Okay. If you press on the three dots that are up in the, you can also change your shutter speed. Oops, I forgot that. It goes all the way down to 1/1000th of a second to 1/4 of a second. But if you go up to the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, that gives you some other cool options as well. You can turn the grid on. Right now I've got the regular rule of thirds grid. I can change it to just a cross. I can turn the level on. It shows me whether my picture is level or not. I can change the aspect ratio. 4:3 is standard. You can do 16:19, which is kind of like a television, or 1:1, which you would use for Instagram or something like that. And there's that level. See that little thing that was like a plane in the middle? That's showing me if my picture is level or not. I'm going to keep it at 4:3 for my pictures though. Okay. And there's some other things you can change up there too. You can turn on clipping highlights, which basically means if you turn that on, it'll show you, see the little black and white stripy lines moving there? It shows you parts of your picture that are way too bright so that you can adjust the shutter speed or whatever to get rid of those white lines. And watch as I adjust my shutter speed. See how I get all extra lines in there? It's kind of crazy. So really, really powerful app to add to your phone. So now if I just take the photos, get them all in there the way I want, they'll look a little bit more like you actually had a hand in it than if you just use the regular inboard phone app. But the really cool thing is when you take these photos and you bring them into the Lightroom app and then adjust them after the fact. If you go to Lightroom, you'll see basically when you get in there that you've got all the different photographs that you've taken, so on and so forth there. You can pick one that you like. I kind of like this one right here. And if you look down at the bottom, there's all sorts of adjustments for you to, fix your picture. So I'm going to go to the light settings here. I'm going to turn my exposure up a little bit, and I'm going to adjust the contrast, maybe just a touch. I like to take the highlights. I like to bring the highlights down a little. Shadows up. Look at the shadows on the cookie. See how it's bringing in all that detail over there? That's kind of cool. And then I can adjust some other things like that. I can also go to color. If I think my picture should be more warm, that's not it. Or cool, I can do that. Maybe just a touch warmer. And then there's some other things like effects. You can kind of increase the texture or the clarity of your shot there to give it a little bit more detail. I like this one called Vignette. Watch when I turn it all the way down, see how it's giving those black corners. That's a bit too excessive, but if you turn it down just a little bit, you get that cool little effect there. There's also a cropping area in here. Find the one that says crop. I want to get a little tighter in on my cookies for this picture. Okay. I can also change the aspect ratio there. See on the bottom where it says 4:3. If I click on that, it'll give me all sorts of options. So let's say I do want to use this on Instagram. I click 1:1 because Instagram pictures are square. And I can get pretty decent crop there like that. Hit the little check mark at the bottom when you're done. If I want to go back to vignetting, I can do that and just make sure it's applied that way. Cool. And then when you're done with this, if you press on the little square with the arrow on it on the top there, you can share it. So a couple things you can do. You can just say share photo and load it directly up to your Google Drive. Or if you want, you can take it and put it into your camera roll, which is what I like to do. I press save image. And now when I go to my regular old camera, first image in there will be this square, cookie image. That's my image I'm going to use for food photography. Turned out pretty good. If you look, nice detail. You can see all the different highlights and stuff. The only thing I would fix in Photoshop is that little crumb right there is bugging me. All right, there you have it. That's all I really want you to do. This is more about you guys just messing around with it. So take some pictures, and tonight when you're just laying around watching iCarly, now you guys don't watch that crap anymore, do you? Whatever it is, while you're laying around watching American Horror Story for the 14th time, open up the Lightroom app. Try to adjust your pictures. Mess around with it. You can always undo Whatever it is you do in Lightroom, just go back to the setting you changed and change it the opposite direction, okay? And try to come up with some interesting, professional looking pictures. You will be on the fast track to being Instagram famous with your food pictures. As for what type of food to photograph, I mean, some of the kids I talked to during my Wednesday Zooms, by the way, go to Google Classroom. I have a Zoom meeting for each class Wednesday morning. So if you have any questions or if you just want to say hi because I'm lonely, you can join the Google Meet. Actually, it's not Zoom, and you can talk to me there. But I was talking to some of the kids last Wednesday, and they were telling me, they've been baking and they've been like learning how to cook some stuff. So if you have any cool food that you've made, take pictures of that. If you don't, take pictures of whatever mom or dad makes you for dinner. If you don't want to do that, packaged food is fine. You've got to have some chips or some cookies that you can open up, or some crackers, something, and try to arrange them in an interesting format. Fruit is good. Vegetables are good. Make sure, though, that you watch the other videos that are inside of the Google Drive project folder. If you go to that Files folder, there's a page in there called YouTube links. There's 3 or 4 other videos in there that show you some other really cool tricks, things that I don't really go over in this video. Really cool tricks for making pictures look even more appetizing and professional. I hope you guys are all well, and I will talk to you again soon.